Hey, Canucks fans, Elias Pettersson hits 300 career points. Quinn Hughes hits 200 career assists. Can we just take a moment to appreciate that we have these two superstars on the Canucks? I'm Canuck Clay, and this is my Canucks take all in one take. It's Clay's Canucks commentary for Tuesday, March the 7th. If you're new, here's what you should do. Hit the subscribe button now for daily Canucks insight that's positive, timely, and trustworthy. Thanks to everyone who joined me and Parker for Canucks After Dark last night. It was a late one because the Canucks game was a late one, but we had a good time. Tonight, my own show at 11 p.m. I hope that you will join me right here on YouTube. Going to recap my experience from last night. Got a couple funny stories to tell you. But for now, for this vlog right now, just an acknowledgement of the exciting 4-3 shootout win by the Canucks. And a big part of it was Elias Pettersson scoring the first goal for the Canucks that counts in his stats. And then the last goal for the Canucks, the shootout winning, the game-winning goal in the shootout. And Petey, he wasn't like completely sharp all game, but he was still very noticeable, not just because of his goal, but because of some of the moves he was trying to make and his work ethic. And yeah, didn't have the most amazing stat night ever, a night on the stat sheet, but still very noticeable on the ice. And that first goal, great pass by Kuzmenko, showing a lot of patience, getting it across, threading the needle kind of thing. And then speaking of patience, Petey, instead of one-timing it or snapping it right away, he actually took a second to kind of surmise. And he said after the game that he was trying to see if there was anyone he could pass to. And they said, okay, no. So then I'm just going to shoot this. And it was probably one of the hardest wrist shots I've ever seen him do. One of the hardest wrist shots I've seen anyone do, because that was on my end of the ice right in front of me. And it was in and out just like that. It was a delayed reaction. Petey knew it went in right away. Some fans did, some fans didn't. Put me in the not so sure category. Even the goal light person, the goal horn person, they were kind of a bit delayed, but it was certainly a no doubter as it rippled the mesh behind Saros and then bounced back out so quickly. That's why people weren't so sure. And it was a wicked shot, got the Canucks on the board, and more importantly, or just as importantly, it was Pettersson's 300th career point. 300 career points for Petey, and he's done it in only 306 games. So that's basically a point a game. And this year, because he has 79 points in 61 games, he is on pace for 40 goals. He has 30 goals now. So 30 goals and 49 assists. And of his 300 points, I believe about 123 are goals, 177 are assists. So maybe 40% of his points are goals, if that makes sense. No, 120 times 300. Yeah, 36% of his points are goals. So it might make sense that he gets about 36 to 40 goals this season and gets about 100 to 105 points this season. That's the pace that he's on. So if he continues on that pace, by the end of the season, he'll actually be over a point a game for his career. But not that we're complaining. With 300 points in 306 career games, he is truly a superstar. And I've been talking about Petey quite a bit. We all think he's going to be the next captain of this team, and rightfully so. And although this isn't the focus of this particular video, anytime the Canucks are talking about making the playoffs next season, making a move like the trade for Philip Hronek, where it seems like to fly in the face of a complete rebuild, I think a large part of it, not the only factor, but a large part of it is the Canucks are trying to keep Pettersson happy, because starting this summer, he can sign his long-term extension as still an RFA. So you don't want him signing a 1 year and then walking after he reaches unrestricted free agency. So keep that in mind as we see moves, as we hear the Canucks talk about making the playoffs next season. I think a lot of it has to do with keeping Pettersson happy, and meaning keeping him in the fold for many more years to come. And obviously be very happy. He's obviously such a skilled player, such a competitive player, really complete game now, defensively, offensively, passing, shooting, skating. Skating's improved a lot. We saw that on that goal that against the Leafs, when he made that one-on-one with Miller, easily made it a 2-on-1, that shorthanded goal. So love everything about Pettersson's game, getting stronger, harder to bounce off the puck, and all these things. So keep the man happy, pay the man what he wants, and let's see what happens from there. So again, that's awesome for Petey, 300 career points. 2 nights ago, on Saturday night, or 2 nights before last night, so 3 nights ago now, then when the Canucks beat the Maple Leafs 4-1. By the way, what's with the Canucks? They've won 3 of the last 4, including 2 in a row. Does that mean I got to do a a dance if they on my stream if they win tomorrow night. Well, we'll worry about that tomorrow, I guess. So they've won 3 out of the last 4, 5 out of the last 6, and 4 out of the last 6 and 5 of the last 8. So they have 11 points in their past 16 games. They're over 500 under Talkit now. They're 8-7-2. So something to keep in mind. Speaking of stats, milestones, Quinn Hughes he hit 200 assists on Saturday night against the Maple Leafs with his 2 assists. He became the fastest defenseman in NHL history to hit 200 assists. That's not the best way of putting it. The least amount of games to hit 200 assists. Not just in Canucks history, in the NHL history. So that means he hit 200 assists in fewer games than Brian Leetch, who he broke the record, Bobby Orr, Dennis Potvin, Paul Coffey. Go down the entire list. Every single defenseman in the entire history of the NHL, including some really, really good offensively gifted defensemen. Quinn Hughes hits 200 assists in his career faster than any of them. It took him 263 games, breaking Brian Leetch's record of 264 games. So it was really, really cool to see that and to have Quinn Hughes hit that milestone. And just as I'm talking about how much Petey is a superstar foundational player for us, I think Quinn Hughes is the same, especially on the back end. And with those 200 assists, he has actually 225 points. So he only has 25 goals in his career, but he has 225 points in 264 games. So just under a point per game. That's more of a 0.9 pace. This year, he has a point per game. He has 60 points in 59 games. And so he's obviously missed 4 games because the Canucks have played 63. So he's only played 59 of them. But he could wind up with between 75 and 80 points, which would be an amazing total for Quinn Hughes. And you want to keep him happy too, but he's only in year 1 or 2, I can't remember what it is, of his long contract. So less of a concern, but we'll still want to keep him when his contract expires, and he'll be a UFA when his contract expires, as opposed to Petey, who will still be a RFA when his contract expires at the end of next year. But you want to keep Quinn Hughes happy as well. And again, same point I made about the Canucks wanting to make the playoffs, not wanting to do a full rebuild. Quinn Hughes flat out said he doesn't want to be a part of rebuild. So you have enough pieces in Petey, Hughes, Miller, Kuzmenko, Demko, of course. Now I think that, and I think you're going to put Filip Hronek in there as well. So 5 or 6 core players, and then you got to build around them. And I guess the question is, how strong are the players that they build around them? How strong are they? And are they good enough to push this team forward enough to get in the playoffs? But that's another question for another video for another day. Right now, I just want to appreciate, I hope Canucks fans appreciate what we have in Elias Pettersson and in Quinn Hughes, our 2 superstar players and 2 players that have hit milestones over the past 2 games. So Canucks fans, let me know your thoughts. It's not a comparison thing. Which one do you want? Who's more important? Who's better? Just more of appreciation. Tell me what you appreciate about PD and or Hughes. Let me know in the comments below, and any thoughts from last night's game as well. And don't forget to join me tonight at 11 p.m. for my live stream. As always, shout out to my sponsors, Van State Experts Real Estate, Perform and Transform, Personal Training, Weight Loss. Thank you, legendary Lucas Gates, who I was at the game with last night, legendary Justin Credible, legendary Andrew Chang, Hall of Fame and franchise members as well. And thanks to all of you for watching, subscribing, and supporting me. I always appreciate you. Never take you for granted. On your way out, subscribe, like, leave a tip, become a member, upgrade your membership, and definitely leave a comment below your thoughts on PD Hughes and last night's game. Stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. See you tonight at 11 p.m. God bless, and go Canucks Call.